Oh, I better take this off. Listening to the October Country that was given to me by Dereck Fisher. I really like this. It is actually more varied than the first couple of songs on the first side showed. It's not quite psychedelic, but it's like they're trying different things, you know. Their background is religious, and it tells a story on the back here. Good album, October Country. I'm back, folks, because I'm enjoying the connection. It's Tuesday, the 8th of October. I'm happy that how I'm expressing my thoughts is coming across. You know, it's just what I think and feel. But I know I'm making sense, and I appreciate hearing from you folks who, not that it's not about agreeing, it's just like, well, yeah, what you're saying makes sense, you know. So, a couple things in response to comments, because I do read them and appreciate them, I do. Someone requested Legendary Pink Dots, not today. That's the sort of band that I have to listen to get into. They're on tour now, so I'm following them on Facebook. Like I said, Edward Cospella is a Facebook associate. But I'm not interested in listening to them right now, so I can't vibe. You want me to vibe on it. I can't fake it. Sorry. Another question was, will Higgs Corner ever happen again? The hour-long Higgs Corner idea that we did a pilot for is basically dead because Adult Swim told me that I would need to find sponsors of my own to fund the making of the show, and I'm not interested in doing that. However, I just heard from Adult Swim that they want more videos for that show, Stupid Morning Bullshit. And that pleases me because it's an open-ended relationship that I have with the show and with Adult Swim. So I'll be making some more videos for that this week. And if you watch the show, which streams online, and sometimes I think it's on Atlanta cable television late at night, I'll be appearing on that show in the near future again. So I don't want to do a poll right at the moment. Not that I won't, but I want to talk about an album of mine that came up. It came up yesterday. So I'm doing social media. I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Twitter. I don't Twitter very much. Excuse me. I am so sorry about this, folks. You know, some kind of underlying anxiety, I guess, about being on the camera. That's where that comes from, I think. I don't know. I sure enjoy doing this. But on Twitter, the main thing I do is follow Yoko Ono. She says inspiring things all the time. I really appreciate her completely. But while I was on Instagram yesterday, I got a message from an old post where I had posted a song, part of a song on Instagram where I was listening to this album, Sparks in a Dark Room by Mini Pops. And I love this. This is a top 20 album. The leader of the band, Wally Van Middendorp, I think is how you say his name, he left a comment where he said, "I'm honored, you know." I love that. And I went and looked to see it was his account. And that just prompted me to pull this because I hadn't played it in a while. And I actually listened to it on a CD burn of it yesterday, where I had actually taken this album and re-EQ'd it to my taste, because I like this album, but it's like it just needed just a little more clarity and a little more bass. And so I did that and then made a version and burned it. This is one of my favorite records on the Factory Records label. And I also hear it makes complete sense to me that this band ended up on Factory. The monotone way that Wally sings, recites the songs, kind of one note, it could almost seem humorous, but it works. And I love this album, and also how it's motoric. It's kind of like it's almost like a machine, but not the rhythms. It actually swings. This record is great. Sparks in a Dark Room. So I thought that I would share, because I don't know the last time I've heard anyone mention anything about this band, Mini Pops. I think they're Dutch, I think. Love this album and played it actually a couple times all the way through last night, including the extras that are on here, some singles that I have by them. So this is the record I'd like to enthuse about today. Sparks in a Dark Room by Mini Pops. If you don't know about this, find out about it. Someone else asked it, because I'm trying to always respond. People ask me, did you get to the Secret Agent Chick Corea album? I did not. I just refiled it. You know, by the time I looked at it, it was like, no, I'm not, I don't want to listen to it now. But in other news, Anthony Ferraro's latest package of VCLT arrived. He sent me a CD version which has both the Swedish and English versions, the brand new Opeth album, In Cauda Venenum. Thank you so much, Anthony. I do appreciate this very, very much. So I can give a good, what do I really think of this, listening to it with my own copy, not listening to it streaming. Love the music, too much singing on here for me, for my taste. I like the Swedish version better because it sounds like Michael is more natural and enjoying singing. It sounds like he's really enjoying pushing himself singing on this. As a result, a big feature of this album appears to be his singing. And the thing that I love about this band is the music and the old records where they would have long instrumental passages. That's what I go for. Now, musically, this is what I want to say about Michael and Opeth. You know, Michael set himself a high bar in the first place by deciding to write songs that have so many changes in every song. I mean, he writes a song and he puts enough riffs in one song to make sometimes 10 different songs. I can see other artists taking the one of his riffs, making a whole song out of it, and he'll make one song and put 10 of those riffs in it. So he's set himself a high challenge to not repeat himself and find new ways of doing that. I hear both on here. I hear repetition of ideas or ideas he's done in the past, trying to kind of reframe them. And I hear him trying other new things where I hear him trying hard to find new ways to do the Opeth thing. And I think he's pretty successful. I think it's coming along. I really do. Opeth play in a mode. There's this Halloweeny mode. I can't do it big vocal. I was thinking about it when I listened because it comes up in almost every song. This, I think it's a mode, not a scale, where it's, it's not the usual 1 in the 5th, but it's something like 1 in the 6th or the 7th or something that gives it that melodramatic thing, kind of makes it like, oh, we're going to the, we're going to go to a graveyard or some kind of, or there's a dusk, kind of a mysterious looking house in the midst. These pictures and the artist that they have been using for the longest on their records is very fitting. So overall, I give the new album a big thumbs up, and I do like it better than Sorcerer. That was the last one, right? Yeah. I like this better than that. It does grab you. The opening track, which is kind of a intro, that's throwaway to me. It's like I only needed to listen to that once. It's kind of like setting you up to go into the second track, which is really the first track to my ears, Okay, I'll get to you in a minute. Um, so, big thumbs up on this, actually. So glad we have Opeth. Glad they're making records as opposed to not. Like I said, I think Michael has set the bar high for himself, and the band's been around for 30 years, so there's really no way, in my opinion, that we can expect him to do what he did 30 years ago, even 15 years ago, to be able to continue to do that. Being, having a family, kids, and everything, I think it's unrealistic to expect him to just always do what he did. I'm glad he's still going. Anthony also sent me the remastered Gong Shamal. It's a double disc. I do appreciate these, Anthony, because I'll tell you, even though now I have a little bit of income, I wouldn't buy these. At this point in my life, I'm not going to buy these. I really appreciate getting them. You better believe it. And this is a joy. I haven't made it to the second disc. The first disc was remastered from the master tapes, and you can tell it's like I never heard the album before. Wow, this is way cool. And as a Gong fan, because I got turned on to Gong when I was still in high school, so the first album that I got into, and they're right here, was this one. They're all stuck together. So this one was the first one that I heard. It was Camembert Electrique. My friends who were French and were in the Air Force and ended up living in Omaha for a time. I met them in high school. This was their copy, which they gave to me when they resettled, moved, or whatever, after Paul graduated from high school, my friend. But it's an original on BYG. Doesn't have the insert or whatever. There's some kind of insert that, how you always want everything. I don't have but this was my introduction to them in high school, 1972. And then the first one I bought by them was this Flying Teapot, which is still, I just love this album. Love it. And I also have another version of it. This one is pressed in Portugal. It's another mix where the tape got damaged, and you hear it. They pressed it anyway. You can hear the tape damage. But it's different mix than this, slightly. But what I was going to say is, by the time Shamal came out, because I was following the band, this was very disappointing. I didn't even buy it for the longest time. I just would listen to it and say, it's over. By the time Gazooz came along, I was back on board. It's like, okay, this is what they're doing now. They're doing music specifically, focusing on the musicianship. So this is in between, where it's still trying to be Gong with the backstory, moving into just really focusing on the musicianship. This is good. This is good. And I'm glad that thank you, Anthony, for sending this to me. He sent me one more disc. I haven't even got to it yet. But again, I appreciate this so much because I am a big fan of King Crimson. And here's another live disc, apparently from the King Crimson Club. Live in Chicago, 1995. A double disc. Haven't gotten around to playing it yet. I really appreciate the music, the gifts from everyone, very, very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will do one poll because I was thinking while I was waking up that I keep missing this one area here, back here, the D's and the E's. So this section here, let me not look. Let me pull one and let me pull another just to see what we get, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and get off here because my phone must be some kind of business going on. What do we have here? Okay, this is one that was given to me by John Coltrane 68 that I have not gotten into. The few times I've listened to this, it's like, I'm not so sure about this. Dream Messages by Richard Dunbar. Have to listen to this one again because when I listened to it, it was like, I'm not so sure I like this. Okay? So this one stays out. I will get back to you on this one. Like I said, I played it and it was like, I don't know. And then I have this, Dust. This is a good one. Kind of beat. But you all know about Dust. This was where the band where Marky Bell, who ended up being the long-standing drummer of the Ramones after Tommy quit. I met Mark. He's the drummer on this. And then Kenny Aronson and Richie Wise. I believe Richie Wise was an early producer of Kiss Records, something like that. All these guys have gone on to do other stuff. This is a good basic hard rock album. It is. This is a good one, and it's an original kind of beat. I do like this album. I do. Something popped into my head to say, and then it escaped me. But when I pulled the Mini Pops album, I pulled a couple others of theirs. Fourth Floor. Is that right? Yeah, Fourth Floor, Mini Pops. Find out about this band. This is good stuff. Good stuff. And then this one, Poste Restante. It came like this with this string tied around the cover, and I managed to keep it. I don't speak. Oh, okay, here it is. It's in English. It appears to me that this was part of some sort of play or presentation. It comes off like that. It comes off like it's not a soundtrack, but it's like the capturing of a performance where there's acting as well as the music. I really like this band and this music. Mini Pops. So that's what I want to share today. I keep thinking I'm always forgetting something. It's funny like that. And I probably am, but I'm going to stop here, okay? We're not even at the 20 minutes mark, so it won't take forever for us to upload. Have a good one, everyone.